Welcome to the Atlanta Baseball Podcast. Thanks for joining us. The Braves just wrapped up a series against the Mariners where it was the first series that they've lost, but that's a pretty good stat to say now that it is officially May 7th. Pretty good to drop your first series this far into the season, so we will take it. Don't worry about that they lost the series. The Mariners just had our number. They got their pitching figured out, just kind of what I thought they would do. But welcome. We got hopefully a good one for you. I never know how to start these podcasts. So many of these podcasts are, high energy, got music going on. And it's like, oh my gosh, welcome, blah, blah, blah. But then I always think of Nate Bargatze. I don't know if you know that comedian. He seems to be everywhere now. But he started his podcast back in COVID. And I went back and watched that first one. And it was hilarious to see him. Like, he didn't have an intro. He just it was just guys sitting there. And then he just started talking. I don't even know if he introduced everybody. He just started talking like he picked up in the middle of a conversation. And so when I started this podcast, as my wife can attest, as she's listening in the other room, I probably did like 4 different takes of trying to figure out what the intro is. And this is the best option. So can't imagine how bad those other options were, can you? But yeah, the Braves just lost to the Mariners. We've got a series, I don't want to say a big series against the Dodgers. I'm sure everybody's going to say oh, it's a huge series against the Dodgers, a big series against the Dodgers. It's not. It's only May. If they get swept by the Dodgers, it does not matter. If they get swept by the Dodgers and then play the Dodgers for the National League Championship Series, there will be no bearing on what happens in this series today, or this series this weekend. So it does not matter. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a really great pitching matchup. The Dodgers offense has been struggling. We're throwing kind of our best 3 pitchers. They've got some good pitchers over there. I'm really excited to see how we do, how Strider and Elder go up against that lineup. It's going to be really interesting. But to kind of wrap up the Mariners series, like I said, the Braves just kind of ran into a buzzsaw. The Mariners pitchers, they were struggling, and you're kind of just waiting for that team to get going and those pitchers to get going, just like Johnny Wood to get going. And they finally did. Our pitchers were great. I thought our pitchers did really, really well. They just had our number offensively. We hit 6 home runs still. We just had nobody on base to really do it. And so that was really the big difference. It's just the amount of people on base. Didn't get a lot of hits. I believe we only got 5 hits, I think. 19 hits, 5 home runs, 19 hits, which isn't a whole lot. Struck out 29 times, which isn't huge, but it's definitely not nothing. So it was an overall good series. I mean, not a whole lot going on. Matt Olson hit his 300 home run. That was a real bright spot for me, was Matt Olson. He continues to do so well. Hit 3 for 9 with 2 home runs. I think 4 RBIs. So he was doing amazing again. And yeah, our pitchers. Let's see what our pitchers did. Elder went 6 innings, 2 home runs. Perez, I'm still trying to figure out what happened with that. Why did they not go with Grant Holmes? I think that there's something going on there. They said they wanted to go with the lefty and wanted to do that, but they didn't push Grant Holmes back. He's not starting this series. They're just skipping his start. And once again, I thought that he did well against the Rockies and kept us in a ball game, and he was kind of the reason why we swept them, in my opinion. So I'm not sure really what's going on there with it, but Perez did fine. He pitched 5 2/3, only gave up 2 runs. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens if anything comes out of it. I haven't heard anything yet. And then kind of going into my predictions, which that's the most important part of the show. We didn't do well. I'll be the first one to say we didn't do well. I thought we were going to win the series. I predicted that we were going to win the series, and we did not. Obviously can't win them all. Wu, I did think he was going to have a good start. I think he went 7 innings, struck out 9 or 10. He did a great job. But the bad part is that I was completely way off on Sean Murphy. I don't know what the Braves saw in calling him up, but they thought he was ready, And I guess that was a big ask for them, like he's in AAA Gwinnett or wherever he was. I forget where he was, and then he takes a flight all the way across the country to Seattle and starts game one. Like that's a tough ask, and so he just did not have a good series. I don't think he got a hit. Definitely didn't get an RBI. So no, he went 1 for 6. Sorry, he went 1 for 6. But no, the old goose egg on the ribbies. So yeah, way to make me look bad there, Sean. But I will give myself a little credit on my talk about Richie. I thought he pitched really, really well. I didn't know that was his hometown, just down the road from Seattle, and he grew up a big Mariners fan. So I can't imagine how cool that was for him to pitch in front of his family. I saw his grandmother go nuts a couple times. Like that's always fun to see. But I thought he pitched pretty well. But he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Like he's got electric stuff. I wouldn't go electric stuff, good stuff, and pitched really, really well 2 times through the lineup. And then as soon as they turned around the lineup for that third time, something changed. He just started nibbling. He was changing his game plan. He wasn't throwing his pitches. He was trying to fool the hitters, I guess, and he just couldn't find the strike zone. It wasn't like that they were lighting him up. I think he had like 4 or 5 walks the last like 6 batters. And so yeah, that really was it. And that's what I brought up last podcast, is like those are the type of outings that he needs in order for him to do really well in the postseason and down the stretch for us, because he needs to figure out how to get through the lineup the third time, and he's going to take his lumps, and he took his lumps last game. Like I mean, he still put us in a position to win. I think he only gave up 3 runs, so he did really well, and I'll take that. I mean, 5+ innings I think it was, and only 3 runs, so real well. But I would have loved to seen him not change his game plan so much and not try and nibble so much in that 6th inning for him to kind of go a little bit longer in the game. But I'm really, really hopeful that the Braves, in between his starts, really dissect what he did, really coach him up on how to attack those hitters third time through, what to do. Now, I do think that it is good to have Sean Murphy back in the clubhouse to coach him up on that. I think that that's a real benefit for him to be there, to be that veteran catcher. Love Drake Baldwin and everything, but with him being only like a year plus in the big leagues, like I don't know how much knowledge he'll be able to provide to like help Richie through these situations. So I think that would be really awesome if Sean will be able to be behind the plate when Richie starts and coach him up and help him work through that third time through. So that would be cool to see kind of down the road, and especially later on in the season. But overall, I think that was a really, really good outing for him. But now for the old Dodgers. I know a lot of Braves fans don't like the Dodgers. They beat us up there for a couple years. They had our number. Then we got their number. That one series in 2021, which was just so unbelievable. I remember that I was in a bar in Austin, Texas, just watching Tyler Matzik just strike out those 3 guys. I forget who it was. It was like Pujols, and then somebody, and then whoever that guy is. Oh man, I forget his name, but that their shortstop. I want to say Mookie Betts. I wanted to say Bogarts, but it wasn't him. Mookie Betts, to just strike him out. That was electric. I was going nuts when that happened. And so a lot of Braves fans, what I'm getting at is a lot of Braves fans obviously hate the Dodgers no more than my neighbor. He absolutely hates the Dodgers. I don't mind them. I kind of respect what they're doing. They're all about winning. They're finding ways to win with their front office of just doing deferred payments. Like they're working within the rule book. They're not cheating. Players, they have really great players and really likable players. I think that the only reason you really don't like them is just because of how good they are at baseball. But yeah, so I'm excited about the series. It should be a great series. I think both teams will be really, really wanting to win it to kind of prove something to the other team, knowing that there's a high likelihood that they're going to be facing each other in the playoffs. But like I said, I don't think it really matters at the end of the day how the series go. I think it will have no bearing in the playoffs whatsoever. It's still just going to be a fun series. The only negative about this series is that it's on the West Coast. and games are like at 10:30 at night. I hate this. I don't stay up and watch them. I'm an old man now, and so it's just the worst to not be able to really watch a game in actual real time. But the expected starters and we all know about the expected starters since how much it could change like it did with Grant Holmes. But it's Sheehan, Sasaki, and Wroblewski. Hopefully I'm saying those names right. But those are the starters. Sheehan, he's a good pitcher. He's got a high, big ceiling. He strikes out a lot of guys. I think like 9-10 strikeouts to start. But he also gives up a bunch of runs. He just hasn't put it all together yet. Like I said, a high strikeout guy, high run guy. So a lot of ups and downs on his start. So hopefully the Braves can capitalize it. I think they can. They do have guys that will run into a couple, but don't be surprised if he strikes out 9-10 of us. So, and then we have Sasaki, that pitcher, who he's doing okay. He hasn't really pitched that well at all this year. He's got good stuff. I think it's fascinating that this happens pretty frequently, I would think. I have no data on this and no evidence to back this up, but it seems to me that those pitchers that pitch in high leverage situations in the World Series or late in the postseason, and they're always in the high leverage situations, and they're always getting the job done, and they pitch late into the postseason, like it just seems that they have an off year the next year, and it takes them either a long time to get it back going, or the next year or the whole year they just have a really bad year. I mean, this guy's not having a good year. His teammate, and he did some crazy stuff in the postseason. It seemed like he was always in high leverage situations last year in the postseason. And then also his teammate Yamamoto, he was just a killer in the postseason too. And he's starting off poorly this year again. Like I think of Tyler Matzik for us, like it didn't seem like he had a great season in 2022. So I don't know. Like I said, I have no data to back that up, and I know so many players would gladly give up their next season or have a down season if it meant winning a World Series. And so I don't blame him. Go out there, throw as hard as you can in every high leverage situation and get that ring. But no, he's a good pitcher. He's just having a rough year, so hopefully he's not like the Mariners and figures it out on this start. Then the next one is Justin Wroblewski, which he's having a great year, kind of coming out of nowhere. He's definitely a stabilizer for that Dodgers starting rotation because they're kind of going through it a little bit with just that guy who just got hurt, Tyler Glasnow, who has ridiculously great hair. But yeah, he just got hurt. So Wroblewski is a really great stabilizer for him. He's only given up 2 runs in his last 5 starts. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys, and it's so amazing. I did a little bit of research of him, and that's all the articles is like, Justin's like not concerned with his low strikeout numbers, like what's going on with the strikeout. And so it's like, man, this dude is giving up 2 runs in his last 5 starts, and everybody's just talking about why his strikeout numbers are low. Like, I think that baseball's in I'll be honest, a bad spot, like with only concern about strikeouts and home runs and all these advanced sabermetrics that were going on. Like, just people are losing sight of the game, it feels like, and what the game means and how the game's supposed to be played. But that is a rant for a different day. The one that we'll get into. Also a fun fact is that he went to Sequoia High School, which is outside of Woodstock, Georgia, which is just down the road from me. I remember playing Sequoia back when I was in high school. And this is why I'm old. And it's kind of like an existential crisis that I've been kind of going through the last couple of years. Because normally, not normally, but a lot of times I'd be used to be watching Major League Baseball and, Division I baseball, but Major League Baseball, I'd be able to have, a connection to a lot of the guys on the field. I played against him, or my teammate played against him, or something like that. I would be able to find a lot of connections with the guys on the field. But now it is very sad for me to say that now I watch a game and I have zero connection to anybody on the field, and it makes me sad. But then there's always that glimmer of hope of that kind of sparks inside of me when I read things like this of, oh, he went to Sequoia, because I'm like, oh, maybe I know him, or and I try and instantly try and think of how we could be connected. And then I realized that he graduated high school 8 years after I graduated college. So there is absolutely zero connection. And I just can't believe I can't believe how old I am, but I'm sure many of you can relate to that. So I think that will be a good pitching matchup because our starters, like I said, we got our three best. We got Sale, then Strider, and then Elder. So with Elder and Wrobleski, they are not big strikeout guys, big contact guys, but really good pitchers. So I'm actually excited because I think that's the getaway day game. So I think it's like a 4 o'clock start time here on Sunday, which even it's Mother's Day though, so I don't know how much I'll be able to watch the game, but at least I'll have a chance of watching it. But I think that would be a really, really great matchup. Sale, I think he's going to be great. There's no reason why he should drop off. But Strider, very, very interested to see how Strider goes. How is he going to respond? Like if you watched his game last outing and we talked about it, had 6 strikeouts. His curveball looked really, or slider, whatever it is, looked really, really good. But his fastball was like 93, 94, and he was kind of all over the place. So is he going to be able to lock it in a little more, pitch a little better, clean up all those like big, and he wasn't just like nibbling misses, like it was some big misses. Like it was sometimes where he was like, I don't know where this ball's going. So I'm really hoping that he can find the strike zone a little more. He could be sitting like 95, 94 would be amazing. And just to keep building back his arm strength. I hope that's it, or it's just building back his arm strength and not like, oh, something's really going on. And then he lost it since his surgery that he had. But yeah, I'm interested to see how he'll do. But if he does well, I think the Braves have a great, great chance at winning the series. And I think they got an outside shot of sweeping the Dodgers. Obviously, it's tough to sweep them. But they definitely are beatable. A lot of guys are struggling for them. So I think it could be a really great matchup for the Braves. Like I said with them, they're the Dodgers. They're 23-14 this year. Last week they had a 4-game losing streak, but then they took 2 out of 3 against the Astros to kind of right the ship a little bit. And then the Braves are coming to town, so we're going to see how they are, how they work. Freddie Freeman's kind of having a down year. Justin Tucker is or Kyle Tucker, I should say. It was Justin Turner, I think. Yeah, Kyle Tucker, their big signing on the offseason. He's having a down start to the year, only hit like 250. Bright spot for them that I didn't know, kind of coming out of nowhere, Andy Pages in center field. He's hitting almost 340 with 8 bombs. So good for him. Hopefully we can keep him off the bases this weekend. Which brings us to the predictions. My predictions for the Dodgers series is as follows. I think the Braves are going to win this series. I really think that. I think that they also have a really strong possibility of sweeping. But I will just predict that they will win the series. Obviously, I really like our best 3 going against not their best 3, not calling them bad pitchers, but I really, really like our chances for them. And so we're going to see how it goes. That's my predictions, 2 out of 3. My bold predictions for the Dodgers series is that the Braves pitchers will only give up 2 home runs against the Dodgers, and the Braves themselves are going to hit 6 or more home runs this series. I think that our bats will really come alive out in LA, and they'll be excited to get home, and I think that they're going to be swinging it well. So hopefully we've got a lot of guys on base when we hit those home runs, unlike the Mariners. But I think that the Braves will hit 6 home runs, and we only give up 2 runs. So that's the kind of series recap against the Dodgers. I hope the predictions come true. But yeah, love doing this. We'll see how this goes. Would love your feedback, and I'll see you after the Dodger series after a sweep.